Alright guys, so yeah, I'm gonna repeat myself. I've already said this kind of thing before in previous videos, but it'll just be kind of a recap. So if you already heard me talk about my history with Halo 4 and Destiny, then just go ahead and click off this video, because it's nothing you haven't heard already. But, yeah, if you haven't, then you should probably listen to me, because I would say that I got some pretty inspirational words of wisdom to share to those who just kind of don't really know what's going on in the gaming world as far as corruption and greed and bullshit lies from developers goes. So yeah, stick around and listen to me fucking go on about that if you want to hear some logical point of views on what the fuck is really going wrong with the gaming industry. But, yeah, if you already know and you don't want to hear that shit again, if you already heard me say that shit before, then get the fuck out of here. So, anyway, real quick, though, I got this funny clip to play. I got this guy right here, Ellis got my pills, this dude right here. The scenario is me and my brother are Spartans, and him and his friend are elites. It's a 2v2 situation, and he has been acting like a pussy for the last few minutes. He has not shown his face on the battlefield. We've been looking for him, haven't been able to find him. We keep running into his battle buddy, and we keep double-teaming his battle buddy, and it's not right. It's fucked up. But, hey, it's this guy's fault. He's not playing, He's just being a camping bitch while his teammate takes it up the ass from me and, Tom. It's fucked up. So, yeah, I don't like players like this. I don't know why these motherfuckers are letting their teammates go to the slaughter. It's kind of fucked up. It's like, you're in a team game, you should play as a team, you know? If you don't like that shit, go to free-for-all, motherfucker, you know? Come on. But, whatever. Hey, I can't control how players want to play, and this is how he wants to play. He's one of those KD whores, you know? Like, he was getting his ass kicked in the beginning of the match. He's afraid that he'll get his ass kicked even more, so now he's hiding like a pansy, hoping that I'll walk by and he can assassinate me and steal my power weapons and do something. I don't know. That doesn't happen at all, though. He makes a pathetic attempt to hide, even better than he already has been hiding, and he ends up doing this. So you don't want to do this, guys. What this guy's doing right now is not smart. So he dropped down into the middle of this thing, and I guess this is a decent hiding spot. Not really. People could still see if they walked by. But then he drops down into this area, and this is a much better hiding spot, except for one problem. You'll die in 10 seconds if you go out here. This is a kill boundary. You know, you can't go through here. So anyway, let's fast forward, and he can't figure out a way to keep himself from dying, and he fucking dies. Not only does he die, but his friend over here is about to get raped in the territory by me and Tom, and he just rage quit because he committed suicide like a fucking idiot. And it's just kind of depressing, you know, that players are this stupid and pathetic, but what are you going to do, right? It's pretty hilarious, at least. I mean, come on, right, guys? That was pretty funny that he did that to himself and got all butthurt and then rage quit. But yeah, of course, me and my brother are fucking him up real bad. Like, I just sniped him, and now Tom is finishing him off with the focus rifle, so he's done. But anyway, yeah, what I was going to talk about in this video is my experiences with Halo 4 and Destiny 1, and I'm going to also talk about console versus PC shit. First, I'm going to talk about my experiences, though. In 2001, when Halo 1 first came out, I was going to get the Xbox day one because my friends all got the GameCube. They were getting the GameCube, and I believe the PS2, yeah, the PS2 was already out, and I had a PS2, and all my buddies had PS2s, and we enjoyed the PS2 a lot, but the GameCube was coming out, and the Xbox was coming out, and the GameCube was going to throw down with fucking Smash Brothers, right? Smash Brothers Melee, and I was excited for that. But at the time, I was playing Dead or Alive 2 hardcore on the PS2, and I was really enjoying that game, especially because I was like, well, I still am fucking beast at that game. Like, what I really like about the Dead or Alive franchise is the counters. You can do the counter attacks. So I got so fucking good at that shit that hardly anybody could get a hit off on me, you know? I would win matches pretty much flawlessly. Like, that was really cool. And I really dug those games. And, you know, the ninja chicks are hot and they got big tits. And, you know, I was a teenager, so I was into that goofy shit, right? So I was really good at Dead or Alive 2 Hardcore, and I kicked all my friends' asses so easily in that game. Like, I was really good at Smash Brothers 64, and I beat the shit out of my friends in that game, but my God, when it came to Dead or Alive 2, they got fucking raped big time. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I've lost to my friends a few times in Smash Brothers. They never came even close to dominating me in Dead or Alive 2 Hardcore. So I was big on Dead or Alive 2 Hardcore, and guess what? Dead or Alive 3 is coming out, right? But it's only on Xbox. It was a launch title for the original Xbox, and I was like, well, my buddies are going to get the GameCube, and yeah, I'll just go over to their house like I do all the time and play it there with them, and I'll get the Xbox. I'll be the odd man out. I'll get the Xbox, and I'll get Dead or Alive, and yeah, then I can bring consoles over, and we can all get the best of both worlds on all these different consoles, right? So I figured I'd do that. So I got the Xbox, right? I'm at Best Buy, and I'm buying the Xbox, and my dad's paying for everything, of course, because I'm only like 14 or 15 or some shit. And my dad's there, you know, and the clerk is there. And the clerk says to me, hey, do you want to pick up a copy of Halo Combat Evolved? Everybody loves it. And I didn't even know what the fuck that shit was. I didn't do any research on that game. I had no idea what it was. I just saw some green alien-looking armored dude thing, and I was just like, that looks kind of weird. I don't know what that is, but nah, no thanks. I told him no thanks, right? I didn't have a fucking clue what I was about to do. But my dad, he interjected. He butted in and was like, hey, I'm buying you all this shit fucking anyway. It's all really expensive, so you might as well get that shit too. So, like, the Xbox at the time was $300. The games were $60, and the extra controller was $60. So I got an extra controller for $60, and Dead or Alive for $60, Dead or Alive 3 for $60, and the console. So that's already what is that? $420 plus tax. And then the guy recommended Halo, and my dad was just like, yeah, get that shit too, whatever. So I did. I got Halo Combat Evolved as well. And so I go home, and the first game I play is Dead or Alive 3, and I liked it okay, but I didn't like it as much as Dead or Alive 2 Hardcore because the PS2 D-pad is way better for fighting games than the shitty fucking Xbox D-pad, which has pretty much always sucked a big dick for fighting games anyway. Like the Xbox D-pad, it's all right for games like Gears of War and Halo, where you just need to maybe tap up or down or left and right to do a few things here and there. But for for fighting games, Xbox D-pad is trash. I think there are a few Xbox controllers out there that are specially modified to have a much better D-pad, but you know, that wasn't the case at the time. There was only one controller back then, so yeah, you were stuck with the big old fat controller. Remember that? And yeah, it wasn't that great for Dead or Alive. It took some getting used to perfect the D-pad usage, and it just wasn't that great. You could use an analog to play fighting games, but I just didn't really feel it. I was so used to whooping ass with the D-pad in Dead or Alive on the PS2, so it just didn't cross over well because the Xbox original D-pad controller sucks ass. So that kind of pissed me off. So after I got done playing Dead or Alive 3, I was thinking to myself, wow, dumbass, did you just have your dad spend close to $500 on a bunch of trash that you don't really like that much? Ooh, that's gay. Because that, you know, when you're a kid, you're thinking after doing something like that you kind of regret. You kind of feel like, wow, my parents aren't going to buy me anything nice for a long time because I just had them spend all this money on me. This ain't good. You know, and of course, I'm just a dumb kid. I can't even drive, and I don't have a job, so how the fuck am I going to... And it's not like we're rich or something, so you know what I mean? It was kind of gay. I was upset. So then I was like, okay, what about this Halo game? Let's check that out. So I pop it in, and I'm totally fucking blown away, and it became one of my favorite fucking games of all time. At the time, and even to this day, it does things that are just completely fucking badass. especially considering at the time, like at the time that kind of audio, that kind of soundtrack for a shooter wasn't that really that epic or that great. The fucking story, you didn't really see stories being told quite that well in a first-person shooter at the time, Hell, I would argue that every Halo storyline after Halo 1 is worse, honestly. Yeah, Halo 2's storyline has some plot holes and shit. Anyway, I don't know though. Honestly, all the Bungie Halo storylines are not that great. They're decent, It's the 343 Halo storylines that are garbage. Those are the games that took the story way off the fucking deep end, Like, to be honest, the Halo storyline hasn't been that great ever. I mean, when you go back far enough to when it first came out, all Halo's storyline really is inspiration from a book called Ringworld, some stuff out of the Bible, and not John Carpenter, I'm sorry. What's his name? God damn it. James Cameron's Aliens 2. Yeah. I mean, come on, you got the cloaking elites, they're like Predator, and then you got the Flood and the alien-esque experience there. The Marines from Aliens 2, they look a lot like the Marines in Halo, the Pelican looks a lot like the dropship. The weapons and gear and just feel to the game, the dialogue. Sergeant Johnson is clearly heavily inspired from the black sergeant dude from Aliens 2, A lot of the dialogue is ripped straight up, like, game over, man, I got a bad feeling about this, that kind of thing, Which is also from Star Wars. But anyway, you get the idea. The story is not that original or that great, but it's definitely not trash either. It became trash once 343 showed up. Anyway, but yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, I loved Halo Combat Evolved. I mean, the LAN parties, the campaign, the story, the gameplay, the enemy AI, the physics engine, the graphics, the weapon balance, the golden triangle of combat was born. Vehicles were actually done right for the first time in a shooting game. Yeah, it felt fucking awesome. And that Halo 1 pistol, man, like, wow, that just fucking blew you away when you realized, wow, this little fucking pea shooter is actually fucking the BF fucking G, Holy shit, look at this, And, yeah, it was just pretty kick-ass overall. And, of course, it's a flawed game, I mean, that pistol was pretty overpowered. Other weapons in the game really didn't match up against it. And, of course, the campaign got kind of rushed towards the end a little bit. I mean, the last 3 levels of the game, you're just kind of walking backwards through levels you already played. It's just a different storyline and different combat scenarios, but it's kind of, yeah, you're doing the same level again, only backwards. Kind of. So, yeah, the game's not perfect, but it was still fucking super badass, and it made Xbox what it is today, and that's fucking awesome. So, then Halo 2 comes out, and it basically makes online console shooters popular. Like, it basically set the scene for that. Call of Duty owes Halo 2 a debt of fucking gratitude, and so do a lot of other console online shooting games. Like, that really set the scene. Like, people just flocked to that motherfucker like crack and played it 24/7. And, yeah, Halo 2 Online, yep, that was pretty badass. Then Halo 3 Online was the, epic conclusion to the trilogy, and basically took Halo 2 and made it better in pretty much every way. Not every way, but mostly every way. And, yeah, Halo 3 was fucking badass. Now, then you got ODST, which gave us the sweet-ass firefight mode. It was kind of an overpriced game. That was fucking bullshit. It should have been $40, or close to that. But whatever, firefight and ODST is fucking sick, and it did make Halo 3 better, and you got the multiplayer experience with it in case you were one of the jackasses who missed out on Halo 3 at launch, kind of like Dingleberry. But whatever. Just kidding, Dingleberry. I don't know if you have a second account and you've played Halo 3 at launch or whatever, but anyway, enough about that fag. Yeah, the game was fucking badass. ODST had a pretty sick campaign, a wonderful soundtrack. It's probably one of the better soundtracks, actually, out of all the Halo games. And, yeah, it's a solid game. Unfortunately, a little overpriced, but other than that, it was pretty sweet. It didn't have matchmaking, which was kind of lame, but, you know, whatever. So anyway, moving on. Then you got Reach, which is the most content-rich Halo game there is, and I love Invasion, so I play the fuck out of that. And Firefight in Reach is the best firefight that there is, simply because you get to manipulate and customize the firefight settings to a really detailed degree, and that is fucking sick. They could take this game offline right now, and I would still play the fuck out of it, just because I could play Firefight offline and have a blast doing some couch co-op in Firefight and campaign with my bro and a few other friends, you know, like, this game kicks ass. Reach is a fucking good Halo game. Fuck what the haters said. They were pissed off because they had to put up with armor lock in a playlist or two. You know, it's pretty childish. You could easily go to MLG or Anniversary or something like that if you don't want to deal with that shit. But, you know, people are kind of dumb, so whatever. They let little things bother them. Other than that, though, I mean, let's get real, though. Halo Reach is a good fucking solid Halo game, and it's the most popular online Halo game right now, point of fact. Yeah, the experts have done some mathematical algorithms and have determined that Halo 5 gets approximately 5,000 players a day right now. Meanwhile, Reach actually gets more. Slightly, like they get like 6,000 to 10,000 sometimes a day. And also don't forget that there are more copies of Reach out there, and Reach is actually a friendly game to those who don't have Xbox Live. So, yeah, Reach beats the shit out of Halo 5 in pretty much every way. But then after that, that's when 343 showed up and took over. So at this point in time, we had a decade, roughly, of kick-ass Halo experiences from Bungie doing a pretty damn good job with the franchise. So, wow, you know, like, we expected Halo 4 to be fucking pretty goddamn badass. That's what we expected. Well, unfortunately, those of us who did expect that were being stupid. I was one of them myself, you know. I thought this game would be fucking awesome. But somewhere along the line, I started to get a whiff of the shitstorm that was coming. They gave us a Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary in 2011, and that game, it was only $40 instead of $60, which was really nice. Obviously, they didn't want to fuck us over too hard on the price, so I gave them some credit there. But unfortunately, they didn't give us the original Halo Combat Evolved multiplayer for matchmaking on Xbox Live at the time. They didn't do that for us, even though pretty much everybody wanted that. So that's fucking gay. You remake the original Halo, and you don't bring back half of what made it so amazing in the first place, the goddamn multiplayer? Like, that is disappointing. But they gave us some classic Reach maps, which was nice, and yeah, they did make Reach better in a few ways. Not with the Evolved playlist. GLL pointed that out to me a little while ago. I never really noticed the Evolved playlist too much, how shitty it really is, and GLL kind of brought that to my attention. Because, you know, I only play Invasion pretty much and Firefight, so I had no idea really. But yeah, the Evolved playlist is fucking gay. They tweaked a lot of things ever so slightly, just enough to piss you off and make everything just totally fucked up. But they didn't fuck with Invasion, thank God. Not really. They did some gay things, like they made it so that only 2 people per TV could play an Invasion instead of 4. But I guess that's fine because hardly anybody really ever did that. The 4 players on one TV bullshit. Hardly anybody really did that. And if you did do it, it reduced the frame rate to shit all the time. So it was never really a cool way to play Halo, because having that little fucking corner screen was always a fucking nightmare, you know? Like, people couldn't do anything a lot of the time. So at least 2 people per screen, that's just fine. That's the perfect way to do split screen, honestly, because you rarely ever fucking do split screen with 4 people on one TV. Frame rate and sight lines just get really shitty. What can you say? The games can't handle it. It's just too much. And it's a really tiny fucking screen, so... Anyway, back to what I was saying. Yeah, what the fuck was I saying? Oh yeah, Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary. Yeah, not bad. Not great, but not bad. But here's the thing. 343 actually didn't make Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary. They hired Saber Interactive to do all the groundwork, really. 343 really didn't do much. So, kind of makes sense that the game didn't totally suck balls. Now, moving on, we got Halo 4, which comes out the next year in 2012. And at the time, I was doing some research because I was hyped. You know, I wanted this game to be good. And I was looking up shit. And it was kind of lame. In 2011, they show us a teaser trailer of Master Chief waking up from cryo, jumping out, grabbing Cortana, using a fucking grenade launcher pistol, whatever the fuck that thing's called, the sticky grenade launcher, I don't know what they call it thing. And everything looks really badass and cinematic and stuff, and I was kind of hyped, I'm not going to lie. But until, what was it, until fucking around September or October or something like that, or maybe August of 2011, they didn't really show us anything new until that time for Halo 4, and they showed us some concept art, and they gave us sort of a quick glimpse of what the Promethean aliens would look like. And they didn't really show you shit, but it kind of seemed menacing and scary and mysterious, and I was getting really hyped, I'm not going to lie. I was like, what the fuck was that? What is that shit? A new alien we gotta fight? That seems pretty fucking cool. Maybe this thing's gonna be badass. So, we didn't get shit until next year around February of 2012, and they unveiled some screenshots and some details in a magazine that they unveiled for Halo 4. And that's when your first bad news from 343 really hit you in the face as far as their game development goes. And I was looking through the details, and they talked about stuff like default sprint. You can sprint all the time now. It's no longer an armor ability. It's Call of Duty style sprinting. And I was like, that's gay. I don't want it to be like that, but all right, fine. All right, not a big deal. Not a big deal. It's just one thing. And then they showed Promethean vision, X-ray fucking vision, you know? Like what? Like, X-ray vision? Gay. So, yeah, that was kind of like, man, what the fuck is that gay shit? Who the fuck wants that? And then I was like, all right, maybe that's not a big deal. Maybe that's only limited to certain playlists or something, and the game will still be badass in other ways. Okay, whatever. And then they said instant respawn and join in progress, and grenade indicators. And fucking what else did they do? Good God, I can't remember all the shit that they did. Like heavy auto aim, like in Call of Duty games and stuff like that. Real noob friendly aiming where it's super easy to hit targets. Ah, God, just thinking about it makes me sick. You know, taking all the skill out of doing anything impressive in a Halo game. Oh boy, oh boy. What else did they do that was fucking garbage? They announced that there would be no beta test. Like, what the fuck? No beta? Like, we can't even... Huh, okay. And as time came closer to launch for Halo 4, I was thinking to myself, yeah, it's probably not going to be better than Reach, but maybe it will be. Maybe. Let's give it a chance. So I was stupid, and I gave that game a chance, you know, and I played it day one, and didn't like it very much. Played the campaign, of course. That's the first thing I jumped into. And I should have... my brother was smarter than I was. I should have taken his advice. He started playing it with me day one, and he was not very excited. He was kind of pissed. And, sorry, I had to get a drink there. And by the time we got to the mammoth level, where you get to ride in the mammoth and go through the river of shit and experience the cringy emo dialogue from Cortana freaking out, and you just kind of sit there and you do nothing. And it's the kind of stuff they should have put into a skippable cinematic scene before the game, before the mission or something like that. But No, you just got to sit there and tolerate that shit. We got so bored, we tried to jump out and run on foot because we thought that would be faster, but we ended up just drowning in the river of green shit, those shitty green waterfalls, you know, and then we had to reload the checkpoint and sit through that bullshit again, and it was already getting late, and my brother was like, this game sucks, you know, and I'm going to bed. And I was like, and I was being dumb. I was like, no, this game doesn't suck. You're just not giving it a chance. Fine, be that way, fucker. I was being stupid, man. I was really in denial, being a 343 fanboy faggot. That's what I was, guys. I'm not going to lie. I don't lie. I'm completely honest on this channel. That's what I was doing, and I was in denial. I was really trying really hard to like that game. I was trying to trick myself into liking it because I had just got done experiencing close to a decade of awesome Halo goodness from Bungie back when they weren't shit, back before Destiny happened, back when they had talented dudes like Marty O'Donnell and Joseph Staten working together to create some of the greatest shit ever in video game history. So I was expecting that. I really wanted that out of this fucking game, you know? And my dad recently passed away at the time, and it's kind of funny. My dad got me into Halo when it was good, right when it fucking started. If it wasn't for him, I never would have been there day one with Halo Combat Evolved on launch day. And then once he died, Halo turned to shit, and 343 took over, and it turned to shit. It's kind of funny. So anyway, I really wanted the game to be good, and over time I just kept getting more and more hatred built up towards Halo 4. I just couldn't stand it anymore. The noob-friendly stuff, the shitty ways that they handled the updates and map packs and shit like that. Like at one point, they even made Halo 4's Infinity Slayer playlist unplayable unless you purchased the second map pack for $10. They actually did that shit. Like, holy crap. And the map pack just came out and they did this to us, you know? Like, and I guess that wouldn't have pissed me off so much if it weren't for all the other little things, you know? All of this builds up, and it just screams that they don't know what they're doing, they don't give a fuck about our complaints, and they just care about money. I mean, come on, the Doritos and Mountain Dew thing, double XP, that bullshit, you know? The fucking limited edition being $100, and you get the gay fucking faggoty unicorn dildo fucking Spartan armor or whatever that gay shit is. Like, I'm sorry, but after a few months of dealing with Halo 4, like, I noticed I was just kind of boosting and grinding to unlock armor and fucking stances and shit like that, achievements and whatnot. I wasn't actually playing the game to have fun. I was just trying to unlock shit because I'm a completionist, and, you know, I wanted to get my money's worth, and I was just living in denial with that game, and that's when I realized, you know, like, you need to go back to Reach, Dave. You need to go back to Reach. So I went back to Reach, and it was kind of hard to readjust because it feels different. Controls are a little different. But after a few days, it hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, why did I ever leave this game to go play Halo 4? Am I some kind of fucking idiot? I guess so. So I smartened up, and I made the right choice, and I went back to the older Halo games and never looked back ever since. And thank God I made that decision. It was the smart decision to make because Master Crap Collection is a broken piece of dog shit even to this day. It's an insult to the legacy of the original trilogy. It's fucking... Oh, God. I'm sure there's some decent things about it, okay? But still, like, I already have those games that actually work on my 360, so fuck that game. Fuck Master Crap Collection. And fuck 343 for saying that they're going to apply fixes to it later this year, because we all know that that's horse shit. They'll fix it to a certain degree for Xbox One X owners, I'm sure. Maybe they'll fuck that up. Who knows, actually. But seriously, that's a broken piece of shit. A $60 drink coaster. The game doesn't even fucking work. They lied to us. Remember, guys? 2014, E3, Dan Ayub, that faggot. You're going to get Halo 2 multiplayer exactly as you remembered it 10 years ago. Remember that complete fucking horse shit? Yeah. Master Grief Collection remembers. Oh yeah. I just referred to myself in the third person. So anyway, yeah. 343 are liars. We totally did not get Halo 2 multiplayer as we remembered it. I remember being able to fucking play it. I don't know about you guys, but I remember it being, playable. So yeah, fucking faggots like Spartan Locke and that Arc 48 faggot would try to argue otherwise with me because they don't live in reality and they are retarded as fuck. But the reality is the game didn't fucking work at launch for shit. Unless you want to call, searching for a match for several hours only to get randomly disconnected or have your game crash. Unless you call that working. If you call that a game working. Anyway, you guys know how I feel about that shit. And then, of course, Halo 5, they start working on that game, and, they literally had to come out and tell everyone, this is basically what they said. I don't know exactly what they said, but this is basically what they said. Don't worry, guys. Halo 5 won't suck balls like Master Craft Collection does. Isn't that fucking pathetic? Isn't that sad when the developer has to come out and in order to hype up their next game, they have to say, oh, yeah, sorry, it's not going to suck like the last one. That is fucking pathetic, that is sad when the developer has to really come out there and fucking throw that in your face. Don't get me wrong, Bungie had to do that with Halo 3. When they were advertising Halo 3, they did talk about how there were problems with Halo 2, and they admitted it, and it meant for it to be better, But those were not really big problems that they mentioned. Maybe the brutes acted stupid from time to time in the Halo 2 campaign or whatever, and they did have some development problems, but it was still a kick-ass fucking game. It was still a good game, unlike 343 Halo games. See, that's the difference. That's the fucking problem. So anyway, yeah, Halo 5 comes out, and it's even worse than we thought. The story is much worse than Halo 4's storyline. They lied to us about what the storyline would be through misleading advertisements. They hyped up this Spartan Locke versus Chief fight, and that turned out to be the gayest thing I've ever seen. And yeah, the story, the writing was just awful. Like that speech that Tanaka gives, Oh my God, that was gay. How did it go? I can't even remember. I don't want to remember. We need to make this jump like we mean to, and handle fools like we need to, or some gay shit like that. That was like the fucking worst thing ever. Good God. They should have had Buck or Locke bitch slapper after that speech and say something like, please don't ever talk again. That would have been great. That would have been the best thing they could have done, and the story would have been amazing just because of that. But no, of course, there wouldn't be anything cool like that. 343 actually thought that was cool. Good God. Anyway, so yeah, I didn't even get an Xbox One, guys. I didn't get an Xbox One. I still don't have an Xbox One. I probably won't get an Xbox One. I'm going to probably get a PS4. But yeah, ever since then, I was like, wow, Jesus Christ. They took out split screen. There's no beta test. They lied to us about the story. The game launched bare bones as fuck, and the content to this very fucking day, this fucking very second that I'm talking right now, is weak as shit. Dude, this is a fucking joke, man. This is a fucking joke. It turned out to be worse than I thought. And I try to look on the bright side, and yeah, Halo 5, wow. I knew it would suck, but it turned out to be worse than I thought. So I'm glad I dodged a bullet and didn't waste any money or time on this shit, unlike fucking morons like Dingleberry, who played 2,000 fucking games of that trash. Oh my God, I'm sorry, guys, I can't let it go. That's mind-boggling. You gotta be a fucking retard to play that shitty game that much. Jesus Christ. So anyway, yeah, and it had microtransactions, and yeah, that was awful. But let's go back in time a little bit here. Around the time of 2013 and 2014, I was getting hyped for Destiny. Because my mindset was, okay, Bungie Halo games, I really like them, and now they're working on this new game called Destiny that's supposed to be like the Bungie Halo games. Maybe that'll be good? So I was done with Halo because I was like, 343 can suck a dick. Fuck those faggots. So I moved on from that, and I started focusing on Destiny, right? I thought, oh, maybe Destiny will be kick-ass. It's being made by the Bungie guys that made the good old Halo Bungie games. So surely this will be good, right? And then I started to get, the stinky turd smell in my face during development of Destiny, and I started to notice, oh, there's aim-down sights? That's gay. That's Call of Duty faggot shit. I don't want that. But hopefully this game won't be, I won't be really into it for multiplayer. I'll just be playing it at like a co-op hack and slash game like Diablo or something like that, and I'll just be playing it cooperatively with my brother and my friends and that kind of thing, and I won't really care that it has sprint or aim down sights or any noob-friendly Call of Duty trash. Maybe that won't bother me so much. And then I also noticed there's no split screen, and I was like, that's also really fucking gay, but maybe the game is just too big and detailed to handle something like split screen. So, okay, no big deal. Maybe it'll be still pretty fucking good. Maybe not as good as Reach, but, good enough. I was doing it again. It was just like my Halo 4 syndrome. I kept on seeing the bullshit come at me, but I kept on going, no, it'll be fine. I know it sucks, but maybe it'll still be pretty good. Maybe not as good as we wanted, but still, justified enough to purchase, maybe. So I didn't get it day one, but I did get it at full price about a week after it came out. So I get Destiny 1 in 2014, around late September, and I get it, and the clerk tells me, it's fucking amazing, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's cool, all right. And at the time, I was making a lot of money because I just started the new business with my brother, and we were ranking it in, finally making good money. And so at the time, I already bought a bunch of games and spending money like a jackass just because I had it. And so, yeah, I decided to get this game too. And, yeah. First things first. We couldn't play cooperatively right off the bat. That was kind of annoying. We had to go through some gay little intro. The story was garbage. Yeah. Online only. We had to wait for the game to install these updates that took about an hour. That was lame. We couldn't just hop in, So after about an hour, 2 hours to 3 hours, we finally were able to join up with each other and play. And it was really a linear fucking game, and the gameplay was pretty trashy. I guess it's decent for a COD game, but I wasn't feeling it. And I was trying to like it, and my brother hated it almost immediately. And I was trying real hard to like it, but I just found it to be really repetitive, and the spaceships are loading screens, and the game doesn't even have as many vehicles as Halo 1. Think about that for a second. That's a travesty right there. I noticed, and this was the first time I really learned about microtransactions in games. I knew about DLC and how a lot of the time DLC is overpriced, but it really wasn't that bad, It was like, oh, this thing's $5 or $10 or $15, and it's not really worth it. Don't get it. And I kind of dealt with that already because there's already a lot of games. There's always been games where it's like, oh yeah, it's definitely not worth the price tag. It's a piece of shit, or it's not very good. Don't buy it. So yeah, DLC never really bothered me too much. But then we got this new monster called microtransactions, which is a little bit different than DLC. It's a lot different, actually. DLC tends to just be like a map pack or an extra story mode or some shit like that, right? But microtransactions tends to be things like one-time only use ammo, health potion, or backpack space or something like that, like wow, like pay-to-win horse shit, like fuck. Cosmetic stuff, which is lame because in video games in the past, you would unlock the cosmetic stuff by actually playing the fucking game and unlocking challenges and accomplishing feats. But now you just throw money in and there you go, motherfucker, there it is. Whoop you fucking do. You really worked hard to earn your sweet new look, didn't you? And Yeah, the game was really doing that shit, and I started to see that. For the first time, I was really exposed to microtransactions, and I was like, this shit is fucked up. You know, this shit is not cool. So, anyway, Destiny really disappointed me, and I was stupid to give the game such a chance. I hopped on the multiplayer, and goddamn, it's noob-friendly as fuck. Even a scrub will eventually get the chance to use a super ability on some badass player and totally kick his ass. Speaking of badass players, there's really no such thing in a game like Destiny anyways, because it's a noob-friendly Call of Duty-like title with a very low skill gap, and just about anybody can get good at that trash. It's not impressive to see someone womp ass in Destiny. It's the auto-aim is really high, a lot of the weapons are really easy to use. It's just a game for faggots. So, yeah, because of those experiences that I've had with Halo 4 and Destiny, that woke me up big time. And that's when that pretty much created the YouTuber that you see before you right now, you know, like I went through some serious shit. I wasted big money, and I wasted a lot of time trying to like these shitty fucking pathetic excuses for shooting games, when in reality all they are is cash grabs, fucking scams, insults to real first-person shooters like Perfect Dark 64 and Halo 1 and Half-Life and Doom, the original Doom, you know? Like, this is a fucking travesty. This is an insult. This is a fucking joke. These games are garbage. And it's only gotten worse. Look, we've got games now like Overwatch and Rainbow Six and Siege and Titanfall, which don't even have a fucking single-player campaign, which are online only and filled with gay-ass microtransaction horseshit, you know? Like, and the game just isn't very fun anyway. They kind of look nice in a lot of ways, but you should expect that, right? New game should have some pretty new-looking, better graphics than the games from the past. Duh, right? I mean, we should expect that. Anyway, my point is, with this video, is that, yeah, things went to shit. Gaming seemed to be getting better and better in the early 90s on up. And then around 2010-ish is when microtransactions and a lack of creativity and innovation started pouring in, and then the corporate fat cats infected the gaming world, and now you pay more. And don't give me that bullshit that, oh, microtransaction money is a good thing. The developers now have bigger budgets. Well, guess what, asshole? Those bigger budgets are not creating better games, okay? They're not. They're creating bigger shit games, all right? That's what is obviously happening. You can't make that argument. Look at what fucking shitty games we're getting these days. These broken, unfinished microtransaction games with horse shit, jack shit, nothing for content. You know, it's fucking... You guys are fucking morons who make that fucking argument. I'm sorry. You guys are fucking stupid. That's a bullshit argument. You know where that microtransaction money is going? Into their pockets. It's not getting put to good use to further better the video game future of the world. No, it's trash. This is fucking bullshit. They're just taking your money and laughing their way to the bank, and you're a dumbass for thinking that they have good intentions, okay? No. They're just trying to rob you and make money. And another thing I wanted to talk about, motherfucking bitches say stupid shit like this. They say that because of inflation, gaming is no more expensive than it used to be. Because of inflation, the price back then for a Super Nintendo is no different from the price of Xbox One today. And they say that because of inflation, you know. And they got a point there with the inflation remark. But they seem to be missing out on something that's fucking obvious. The accessories, the online fees, the DLC, and let's not forget the biggest thing of all, wages were fucking better back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, okay? Fucking wages are worse now than ever. For most people, generally. So, that is a fucking dumbass argument. You have to admit, the gaming companies, the video game world as a whole nowadays, as far as new games go, is gouging us big time. They're fucking us over financially, far more so than they ever have in the past, and that is the fucking truth. That's a fact, okay, guys? And if you want to counter-argue that, you're an idiot because you're not using logic or facts, and you're definitely not living in reality. You don't understand the value of $1, and your parents still buy you all your video games, okay? That's what the fuck is up. So I just wanted this video to be an inspiration to anybody who, you know, understands that something fucked is really going on in the gaming world. I mean, and it's only going to get worse from the look of it. Activision just made $4 billion motherfucking dollars, you know, in microtransaction money. Like, obviously there's a lot of idiots who are buying into this bullshit. So it's probably going to stick around for a long time, and maybe there'll be a gaming crash which will help squash some of this horrible corporate horseshit, but I don't know. We'll see. It's hard to predict the future completely, but it doesn't look like it's going to get any better anytime soon, at least not for the next few years. So, yeah, let this be an inspirational video to those who need to and want to see things how they really are, and how the gaming world is totally fucked up in this regard right now. And, yeah, I just want you guys to know that that's how it is now with a lot of new games. And the cure is to not buy this trash. It's just going to piss you off and make you regret wasting so much money. That's all it really is going to do, ultimately. Unless you're a fucking retard and you can't tell the difference between a bad game and a good game. But, whatever. I know tastes tend to vary, and there's opinions here and there, whatever. I get that. But have some fucking standards, for fuck's sake, you know? Like, can we all agree that dog shit doesn't taste as good as fresh New York pizza? You know? Like, come on. Anyway. Yeah, I just wanted to throw this video out there. I know it was me repeating a lot of stuff I've said in the past, but yeah, that's how that goes. Oh, and I forgot to mention real quick, another thing. I noticed the PC versus console peasant, the PC master race versus console peasant war is still a thing for some fucking reason. I don't know why. I mean, at the end of the day, we're staring at a screen and pushing buttons. Who really gives a shit? You know, there's ups and downs to both console gaming and PC gaming, all right? Just stop fighting over which one's better or which one you prefer more or whatever. Who fucking really gives a shit, all right? That war is fucking nerdy faggot shit is what it is, okay? What we need to focus on, where the real war is at, is microtransaction games from shitty, lying scumbag developers like Sean Murray or 343 or, I can't think right now, but there's a lot. Activision, EA, Ubisoft, you know, they've all been massively full of shit. I can take being a little full of shit. I know no one's perfect, and sometimes you make a promise and you have to break it, and that sucks. I get that, but come on. What these motherfuckers have been doing lately is, what? You know, it's mind-bogglingly like, holy shit, you guys just don't give a fuck. It's obvious. You know, you guys just want to rape our wallets and leave us in the dirt with a sorry excuse for a video game. You know, like, that's what I'm seeing here. That is what you should see here. That's what's fucking happening. And it's pretty shitty. Nowadays, it's rare when a game comes out and it doesn't fuck your wallet over and it's actually decent and you'll actually have some fun and you'll actually come back and play it. You won't just touch it for a couple days and then never play it again, like Destiny or something. So yeah, that's where the real war is at. Calling out developers for their fucking lies and bullshit, calling out fanboys for their lies and bullshit, and saying out loud that microtransactions are faggot shit, and that stuff shouldn't be a big thing in video games. I don't think it should be a thing at all. Maybe a little DLC here and there, some updates to make the game better, it's always nice, but that microtransaction bullshit, that's gone way too far, you know? A lot of the time, that shit is just totally fucked up. Like, little kids that don't even know any better will will unknowingly spend mommy and daddy's credit card money on a lot of microtransaction shit, and it just causes turmoil and confusion, and it's scummy. It's shady as fuck. It's not right. It's what an asshole would do. And that's where the real war is at, guys. It's just saying.